I have knelt before the altar of grief and cried my heart into a red mist, and I have learned much. This is what I share with you in the chapters that follow. I must stress I am not a medium, I do not hear the dead, and very rarely do I see echoes of them reaching from beyond the realms of life. The most adequate word to describe my abilities is clairsentient. I feel and sense images and messages, information and data that flow from the quantum machinery of spirit and soul to sink into the fluidness of my mind. I do not offer anecdotes of conversations with the dead or personal messages that are pertinent to a single individual. I share with you a knowing that comes from having lived with the dead, of being privileged to share their world and glean a deeper understanding of the process of crossing over. Through death, I have learned the meaning of life, and I am comforted by my understanding and experience of the hereafter. If you are listening to this audiobook, chances are you've lost someone close to you. You may be recently bereaved, a seeker on the path of spirit, or a grove, solitary, coven, or group of members who seek to explore the function of death in modern paganism. Whatever your motives for listening to my words, my intention is that I convey to you a message of hope that arises from experience, and that after listening to this, your relationship with death may be different. I do not have all the answers, but those that I do offer are of immense comfort to me, and I hope they will be beneficial to you. Bear in mind that some of the concepts I portray here may assist to transport you beyond what is comfortable or familiar, but I hope that what you will sense is the sincerity of the words that I share by having lived so closely to death. In the following chapters, I lay open my heart to you. Some of these words have not been easy for me to pen, and throughout you will find me recalling my personal encounters with death and grief. I write these stories in honor of those whom I have loved and lost, and what I have learned from the process of bereavement. I conclude each personal section with a brief discourse that explores what I have learned from my encounters with a loved one's death. Death is never easy. Even to those who are in conviction of faith, we are still torn by the loss. I do not offer sensationalism. My intention is to evoke emotion rather than to shock. Indeed, within these chapters, some sections may offer descriptive insights into the world behind the morgue doors, but I do so out of reflection, not out of a need to sensationalize or appear morbid. To understand my journey and the conclusions I've arrived at, it is necessary to peer into my world. Some of the images and scenes I portray may be disturbing to you, or you may find them upsetting. However, I feel this is necessary for you to understand the journey. I hope that by presenting you with a glimpse into the physical world of the dead, you'll be comforted in the knowledge that those who serve them do so because they care. Eventually, the journey will move on to matters of the spirit. This book follows my own sequential journey with death and spirit, but it does so in tune with my own spiritual practice. Humanity has always developed coping mechanisms to deal with the realities of life and death, and this book will provide a glimpse of the emotional and physical responses of one man's journey into the shadowy world of the unknown. I do this to satisfy some deep need within me to explore my own coping mechanisms and to share with my audience that journey, in the hope that some of the mysteries of death are transmitted from my experience and amalgamated into yours. In the Reaper's Service. Throughout this book, I refer to an ambiguous figure that I call the Reaper. I do not use this term flippantly, nor do I utilize it out of provocation or a sense of the dramatic. It is the word I use to refer to the force of death, or the energy, or the personification of death that humans have connected with for millennia. I use this term in reference to a neutral energy whose primary function is to sever the ties of life. It does not perform this function out of malice. Instead, it acts as a psychopomp, escorting the individual from this life to the beyond. Over the years, I've developed a reverence and deep respect for this energy, the initiator of the process of death. My own attempt to personify this energy is, of course, deeply indicative of my own coping mechanisms. I consciously give it an anthropomorphic persona simply because I need to. It allows me to identify with the energy that I've devoted my life to serve. The three realms of existence. Spiritually, I am a priest in the Celtic Druid.